Morning. Thanks for joining me again. It's another nice early start. I've just parked up in Crowden car park and we're heading up Black Hill today, doing a circuit anti-clockwise. Big climb at the start, then picking up the Pennine Way back around via Laddow Rocks and back to the start. So why not stick with me, see what we find along the way. That's the view up to Laddow Rocks. So that's the way we come back and down over the nice little campsite down at Crowden and up onto Low. No getting away from it. It's a steep climb, but you soon gain in altitude and takes you up behind what I think is called Brockholes Quarry. See the view open up as we get behind the quarry, and that isn't Black Hill itself, that's an imposter sent to trick you, but you can see the expanse round of the circuit that we're going to do. For the next little bit, the going is steady climb rather than steep. Path's in reasonable condition underfoot because it's not been too wet recently. Probably does get pretty grim in rainy conditions, and we're just following the path of the little Crowden Brook down below us. Complete silence, except for the odd red grouse, skylark, and the sounds of an old fart getting over a head cold. Panting a little bit. Fabulous up here. Not seen a single person yet. Just about 7 o'clock as I was passing the campsite, and didn't seem to be anybody up and about yet. First person in the car park, and hence nobody up here yet either. Solitude. A little bit hazy today, but the view just starts to open up behind us to the right over Low, and in front of us climb gets a little bit steeper for a while as we go to the top of, I think it's West End Moss. I'll correct it on the screen if not. Probably won't be able to see it on the GoPro, but right in the middle there is what looks like the White Cliffs of Dover, and since we aren't in France, I'm thinking that must be Eldon Hill Quarry. So you've got Low in the foreground, then Kinder Scout, and then probably Rushup Edge you can just about see, and then over to Eldon Hill Quarry. And as Home Moss radio transmitter comes into view, you can then see round across the Black Hill itself. This is the worst bit to navigate. It's a lot more boggy and the path gets a bit sketchy through peak groughs and such like, but if you're lucky enough to have visibility like I've got today, you can kind of keep the radio transmitter mast kind of in front and to the right of you as you head along. But if you aren't that lucky, probably worth taking some bearings with a compass and keeping a close eye on where you're up to. Sun's putting an appearance now. Absolutely magnificent up here it is. Bit boggy in places still. Black Hill Trig now just coming into view. A couple of 100 yards left. Otherwise known as Soldier's Lump. I think because the Royal Engineers were engaged to build the stone hump that it stands on. But I could be wrong, and I doubt somebody will correct me in the comments if I am. But yeah, it's been a fine walk so far, up to just under 7.5 kilometres. What's that, 4 miles or so. Can even see another person up there. Might have to do some social distancing on Black Hill. Wasn't expecting that. Just leaving Soldier's Lump now and setting off on the Pennine Way, all nicely paved for most of the way back down now to stop the moors eroding. You might have been able to hear a drone buzzing away behind me. The one other person up here was practicing his drone flying, but I did ask him, but he didn't have a YouTube channel. Shooting into the sun, so you probably won't be able to see much, but somewhere over in that direction is one of the Peak District crash sites. I think it was 2 Gloucester meteors that well, it's quite a familiar story. Dropped down below the cloud cover to try and get a better bearing on where they were, and ploughed straight into the hillside, killing both pilots. This is the Peak District that cameras just don't really do justice to. It's just the sense of isolation and just being in like another world in the middle of nowhere. Amazing place. Just starting to head round after dropping down a good probably couple of 100 metres, I'd guess. We're just going to start the climb up to Laddow Rocks shortly. So, a couple of streams you've got to cross down here, and you can see the kind of shale outcrops. Just while I was watching, you can actually see it slipping. That's how unstable it all is. Very pretty valley as you start to climb up to Laddow Rocks. The stream at the bottom looks as though it's full of iron. I've never drunk from it, but I'm reliably informed it doesn't taste too good. All those minerals, it's probably very good for you, but yeah, not so good in your coffee. Not sure how much you can see of it shooting into the sun. On the left hand side there, on the map, I don't know whether it's got it's just marked as castles on the map, whether anybody knows whether it's got a proper name. Quite a impressive rock feature. After a steady climb up from the stream, more or less up at the height of Laddow Rocks now, and the view opens up over the rocks. But yeah, epic views all around. Back down to Crowden, whichever way you wish. Just up to about 12 kilometres now as we approach Laddow Rocks. It's so not quite 8 miles. It's not the longest walk, this one, but it's definitely one of the classics of the Peak District, no question about that. Brilliant walk. Alright, still a bit early, but I found a nice sheltered spot and I'm going to sit and have my lunch. Fabulous view back out over the moors, and there were a couple of ravens flying around earlier, so maybe they'll make a comeback. Fabulous birds to watch, full of aerial tricks. Just on the descent now down from Laddow Rocks. Always worth just stopping and having a look back where you've been. So quiet though. I've seen 6 walkers and the guy flying his drone. You can obviously do this walk clockwise or anti-clockwise, but I think the anti-clockwise route has got a lot going for it, because as you're descending the valley from Laddow Rocks, it really is very picturesque, so it's yeah, it's kind of nice to do it this way. Yeah, it's got so many levels of stunning, this walk, from the wide open spaces of the moorland and down this fabulous valley with all the huge rock formations and boulders and pretty little streams, he says, nearly falling over. But yeah, it's a fabulous walk, highly recommended. Up to about 15 kilometres now, and not too far back to the van now. Alright, almost back to civilization now. Campsite I can see just below me, and the car's parked just below that on the Crowden day car park. So yeah, what a cracking walk. Thanks very much for joining me. If you have enjoyed it, if you'd oblige by hitting the subscribe button and perhaps giving me a thumbs up. And the route I'll put a link to down below if you want to check the route out. A lot of people will have done this walk before. It's very popular, although it's mercifully quiet today. And negotiating some little steps. Right, that negotiated without decapitating myself. I wish you all the best. Thank you for joining me, and no doubt I'll see you on the next one. Cheers folks, bye.